This video is brought to you by Ageless Geeks.
Hey, what is up guys? This is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the Figma Link figure from The Legend of Zelda The Twilight Princess game, DX Edition. Now, taking a look at the front, we can see that the figure is showcased in a large-scale window box packaging. Turning the box around, we can see that the figure is showcased in multiple posing positions with his multiple accessories and interchangeable parts. So with the box out of the way, let's crack this figure open and see what we have inside. And here is Link out of the box. And man, finally, I get my dream Link figure. He is so awesome. Good Smile did an amazing job with this figure. He's got a ton of accessories, and I am so stoked that I finally get to add him to the shelf. But before we take a closer look at the figure, let's take a look at the accessories. So Link does come with a plethora of accessories. Starting off, he comes with 4 interchangeable hands, 3 interchangeable faceplates, and 2 interchangeable hairpieces, one having the Hawkeye mask attached to it. Next up, he does come with a ball and chain with a reel of chain attached to it. He also comes with a claw shot with 2 attachments, also with a reel chain. Next up, he does come with the Ordon sword with a sheath. He also comes with a Master Sword with a sheath, a bow and arrow, and the Hyrulean shield. And lastly, he does come with 2 Figma stands with 2 articulated arms that articulate at 3 points and also a clip. So with the accessories out of the way, let's take a closer look at Link. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at Link here. Now this is one I've been dying for. Oh my god, he's so cool! Okay, seriously. I remember when this game was announced, the first thing I thought of was, holy crap, I hope they do toys of that. Just because we had always wanted somewhat of a more realistic type of Link. Just once, you know, we know Link has had a bunch of different type of iterations and whatnot, and done in different art styles and things like that. But when Twilight Princess came out, this was a little more realistic, and as you can see, just the figure itself, he's a little more proportionate compared to the other figures. You know, his head's not as big, and he's not as kind of like overly cartoony and whatnot. Even his colors are very toned down. They're more a little darker and a little more faded and whatnot, and it gives it a little more realistic look. So I love that quite a bit. The face sculpts on all these, just like all of the Figma Links that I've taken a look at, are freaking gorgeous. So you got a simple face like that, looks really, really good. Nice hair sculpt on there. All the fabric sculpting is really nice. These leather straps all over, whatnot. The buckles are nicely painted. You got some pouches going around the belt. That all looks really good. The tunic looks nice. Love this. I love his cap. Nice and long, too. A lot longer than the other ones that we've taken a look at. So pretty cool. You got those dark pants, nice boots. All looks very, very nice. I like how he has like the one, like brown gauntlet on the one side. I think it's really cool. He has the fingerless gloves that we've seen with a lot of other Links. I like that quite a bit. And I like the fact that you can kind of see like the golden like chainmail under the tunic. It's really, really cool. I like that a lot. And like the other Links, the sculpting kind of continues under like that. See how it kind of folds under there, so it doesn't really hinder articulation whatsoever. So I do like how they did that. Very, very nice. So let's take a look at some of the accessories. The hands are interchangeable. They're just on little straight pegs, you can see, just like that. And I notice all the peg holes are kind of at an angle, so you kind of like have to stick them like straight into the thumb, which is actually that helps out pretty good. So you do get a lot of interchangeable hands like that, just on a little tree, just like all the other Figma. Just like all the other Figma Link figures. So you do get these hands, or these are closed-fisted hands that come on the figure. Then you got these more open palm hands, and then you got these 2 hands right here. I'll show you how those work real quick. Oh, my camera's crooked. Okay, so we could take these off lying here, and take those off right here, and then put these ones on right here, like so, and then put that on right there, just like that. And then we could bring in this accessory, his bow and arrow, which is freaking awesome. Beautifully sculpted, beautifully painted. I like this accessory quite a bit. They did a really good job with the detail on this piece right here. So pretty much anything with a handle, just like on all these pieces, they do split apart, so you can kind of slide them into the hands, like a little so. It's a really nice tight grip too. So you don't have to bend the fingers around, which is really, really nice. So you got that hand right there, more specifically for holding the bow. And then you got this hand, and then you can kind of see like how the knuckles are shaped. There's actually a peg hole right in there to get the arrow, and then plug the butt of the arrow right in that peg hole, right where the fingers are, like that. So then you can get some cool, like drawing back of the arrow poses, like that, which is freaking dope. Like that's really cool, man. I think, because this is the DX version. You have so many display options, so I might have to rotate every couple weeks or so, but I love that look right there. I think that's so, so cool. So let's take those hands off like that, and let's put the standard gripping hands on that we had previously. So we do get interchangeable face sculpts, so that's just pretty much your straightforward face that we get right out of the package. Then we get this one that has a little bit of, kind of like a little bit of a grimace. You can kind of see that. It's a little, kind of like a little open side, open mouth, just a little bit. And then we get this one right here is more of the yelling mouth. So this is a little more action-based. If you take the hair off, just like this, just like all the other links really, unplug the hair, then just pull on the ears, and you can take that like so. Then you got the little peg, you can plug that one on. So then you have the open mouth, just like that, screaming. But then you get this, the Hawkeye mask. And what's really cool, the Hawkeye mask is sculpted with a hair piece. So you can actually interchange that with the standard hair and then have something like that. And then you got the Hawkeye mask. Now what's really cool is because they use it as part of the hair sculpt, and instead of an extra face sculpt, you can kind of mix and match different parts. So you can have the Hawkeye mask with a screaming mouth like that, or you can have the open mouth with just your standard hair like that. Or if you take this off, then you can have just your standard face like that, and then put on the Hawkeye mask, and then you have something like that. So I think that's really, really cool that we actually get multiple options for display, which is very, very nice. Always appreciative when a figure can do something like that. So that's pretty cool. And then we do get this sword right here. I think the Ordon sword or something like that. I can't remember at the moment. But that's a really cool looking sword, very nicely done. All this is sculpted in here, not just painted. Lots of nice detailing in that. Nice gunmetal, really dark metal right there. All that looks really, really good. Again, handle does break apart just like that, so you can slide it into his palm. Looks really good, and it just slides out, and you get a really nice sharp blade right there. So I think that's really, really cool. And he does have a little peg on the back, just like that, so you can holster that on his back, which is very, very nice. And then we do get, of course, his Master Sword. You can't have Link without the Master Sword. Again, beautiful freaking sword. I absolutely love this piece right here. So you got all this sculpted gold and whatnot. Got a little leather strap right there. It looks really, really good. Same with that peg hole back there. You got the Triforce. This, I've noticed, slides in like butter. I mean, you slide that in there, and it is so smooth, and it just shapes to the way of the guard. I think that's so awesome how they did that. One of the other figures that has the holster, was it Skyward Sword? It's a little tight getting in there. It doesn't. You have to kind of like push it in there and force it in. But this one is just so smooth. I noticed that right away, so that's really, really cool. So you pulled out, and just like all the other Master Swords that I looked at, you get like that, almost like a light powder blue in the center with a silver trim around the edging of the blade, which is really, really nice. You got the Triforce right there. Really nice guard with that dark metallic blue, little bits of gold and whatnot. So I love that so, so much. And the same thing, you just plug it right in the back like that. And now he has a way to hold the Master Sword in his back. And then, of course, we do get his Hyrulean shield, another well-known Link accessory. And this is the same thing. You have a little strap with a handle right there, and you can just kind of unplug these pieces right here to have Link grip on and then wrap around his wrist. So I think that's pretty cool. But he does come up with a couple other extra things that I think are really special. You've got this right here, which is his hook shot. So this is pretty awesome. It's like a little gauntlet piece. That's pretty cool. So you can take this piece off right here, and then you can kind of just slide that onto his hand. Oops, let me try it from the. I think it's hold it from the bottom. I think that's how you do it. But then you get. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. So then you can take this little guard piece, and then plug it back into the holes. Am I doing this right? No, I am doing this completely wrong. My bad. It comes from the top, like so. And then you can just take the little guard piece. Stick it in like that. Am I doing this right? I feel like I'm not doing this right. I apologize if you're seeing me mess up with this figure. There you go. So you got something like that. Then you do have the closed hook. You can just peg on just like that. And you got a nice big hook. Nice painted detail in this piece. I like that a lot. I think it's so cool. Really good look that we get with that. And what's really cool, you can see the chain sculpted right there. This unpegs. And then you can actually connect this piece like this. Yeah, let me just pull this off right here. So then you got an open hook like that. And you can technically just hold it like that if you wanted. So again, multiple display options like so. Then if you pull this little peg piece out, you can attach an actual chain like that. And then you can plug in the other side to the... Man, if I can get this in there, it's really... I feel like I'm struggling with this figure a lot. You guys noticing this? Because I feel like I'm just struggling now. There's a lot of really small pieces and whatnot, and it's... To be honest, it's really tricky getting everything plugged in, and I feel like I am just not doing this right. Anyways, there you go. So then you got this like that with the actual metal chain. And what I do like is it's a really nice heavy-duty chain. That's not cheap at all. Sometimes you can tell the metal's just very almost plasticky metal, but this is really heavy-duty, almost like a sterling silver. And I do appreciate that quite a bit. So that's pretty cool. So let's take that off right there. Then boom, like that. Get outside. Now we have one more accessory, which is his ball and chain. Same thing with the same heavy type of chain, which I really do like, and nice and long too. Really good. But this ball is freaking beautiful. A nice powder blue, really nicely sculpted. All this gold trim, got these spikes in there. What I like, it's pretty heavy. Like I'm hitting it on my table, and it's pretty weighted. So I like that quite a bit. So you can just plug this right into a hand, just like so, and then you can kind of have him wielding that around. But what's good though, the reason why this came with two Figma stands is the extra Figma stand is meant to hold this. So we have a little peg hole right there, and you can plug this into the Figma stand, and then you can kind of have him like he's, flinging that around and whatnot. So you can do something like that and have him kind of just swinging that around. So something like that. It's pretty much what it's for. So I'm glad they actually gave us that second Figma stand for something like that. So pretty cool. Alright, now let's take a closer look at the articulation here. So the head and the neck are on a ball joints. So you can kind of see the collar move around right in there as I'm moving him around. So you can see kind of motion right in there. So you get a lot of good movement in that figure. Just like so. Very nice. It does pivot side to side just like that. Rotates left and right. Looks up and down. Very well. I like that. Especially with the ball joint being, the neck being hinged too. So that's pretty cool. So then you get, also what's really cool is the cap piece right here. Used to just kind of rotate side to side. But now it's actually on a Figma joint. Pull that off and see that right there. So that's very cool. So that actually helps a lot too. So you can do the same thing side to side, but now you can kind of go in and out and kind of roll around a little bit. So you get a lot more motion with just the cap. So that's pretty cool. Makes things just a little bit more dynamic. So arms can go all the way up that far, down like that, out about that much. We do get a butterfly joint in there, so you can kind of see that like so. so you can get some arm movement going all the way across his chest like that. So that's very, very nice. That helps with things like the bow and arrow pose and whatnot, which I really do appreciate. It also rotates in the cup right there, a single bend at the elbow just like that, as well as rotation at the bicep. We get a rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge at the wrist. We get a ball joint at the upper torso going into the lower abdomen, so that rolls around just like that, rotates left and right, crunches back and forth, pivots side to side. The skirt piece is a softer skirt piece, so it kicks forward about that much, back about that far. We can do the splits about that much, rotation at the thigh. We get a really nice Figma joint at the knee, just like that. Again, I like how the back of it, the cat or the thigh is a little bit sculpted out, so you can really get a lot of good bend in there, just like that. We get an ankle joint, allows you to point the toe up and down, rotate side to side, and a really good ankle rocker. And we do get toe articulation. So overall, man, oh, I freaking love this guy. He's so cool. I think, I don't know. It's hard to choose which one of these Link figures has been my favorite. But this guy is freaking gorgeous. Like I said, he's a little more of a realistic type of Link compared to the other ones. So I love him for that regard so much. But dang, all the accessories that he comes with are so nicely done. Great detail and paint and whatnot. I think he's another beautiful figure from Figma, and I think he is definitely a must-get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is sitting next to a Marvel Legends Captain America figure, as well as a DCUC Batman figure. And for your Link comparison, here he is sitting next to the two other Figma Link figures that I've already previously reviewed. And for your weapons comparison, starting from left to right, the sword and shield from the Skyward Sword Link, a Link Between Worlds Link, and the Twilight Princess Link. And just for fun, here he is standing next to little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Figma Link figure from The Legend of Zelda: The Twilight Princess game, DX Edition. Now I think out of all these figures, this has got to be my favorite one. I love the other two Figma Links, but this one just suits me perfectly. He's a little more realistic than the other Figma figures, and he's got great accessories with a ton of detail, great paint, great articulation, and overall just a truly badass figure of Link. I cannot be happier to have him in my collection. So for great deals, head over to agelessgeeks.com for awesome action figures like this and all the things you love. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.